Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Straight Fire Picks. Best bets for NFL Week 14 on Sunday, December 12th, 2021. My name is Steve, and we're going to have 5 picks here for you today that I think are great value bets for this Sunday and NFL slate. As always, just want to thank you all for your continued support on the channel. If you're new to the channel here today, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Always appreciate that. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers here by the end of the week, guys. We're almost there. We're in the stretch run. I can't do it without your help. If you're a returning viewer, please also consider hitting that like button. It really does help us out. Be sure to also check out our Discord page. It's a great place to connect with our community. I'll have a link in the comment section and in the description of that where you can check that out. We have a lot of great minds in our Discord. Be sure to also put your favorite pick down below in the comment section. If you like your pick included in our comment capper section, just be sure to put a star or an asterisk next to your pick, and we'll include your pick in the video if it hits. Okay, now results from the previous week. So this is from NFL Week 13 Sunday. So for our comment cappers, we had Gotta Get the Bag, calling the over 47.5 points in the Lions-Vikings game. Was able to cash that, and the Lions got the first win of the year. I was talking with the Gotta Get the Bag about that. It was good stuff. Great call there, though, from Gotta Get the Bag. Cash that. For us, the stream results, we were dealt some really cruel blows last week, and I'll explain that in a minute. We went 1-3. Only one we cashed out was the Pittsburgh Steelers, plus 4.5 spread there in Pittsburgh. Steelers outright won that game. Really wasn't a big surprise to me. Expected them to bounce back there after the bad performance the week prior in Cincinnati. Our losses. So, Joe Mixon, right? He's carrying the ball in the fourth quarter, well on his way to cash the rush attempts prop. Then he fumbles in the fourth quarter. The ball is returned for a touchdown. Now it's a 2-possession game. So they don't give him the ball after that at all. There was like 12 minutes left and he needed like 2 or 3 more carries. Not a lot you could do about that. Just a really unlucky break. And Mixon almost never fumbles the ball. I think the previous fumble that he had before that was week 1 of the previous year. So really nothing you could do about that, guys. Brutal beat on that. And he got injured, went out for some snaps, came back in, fortunately. Otherwise, I really would have felt bad. Zach Wilson, we had the under 224.5 passing yards. He had 100 yards going into the fourth quarter. And he picked up about 100 in garbage time. And then on the game's last play, he was sitting at 215 and completed an 11-yard pass to cash the over. Absolutely brutal beat. It was a meaningless pass, too, because they were being blown out. Not a lot you can do about that either, right? I felt like I was on the right side, just a bad beat. And then the Cordero Patterson, that's the only one that I, was like, did I get this right? Cordero Patterson over on receiving yards really wasn't all that close to that. But what can you do, guys? We're going to get after it this week. We're going to get this 5-0. So let's get right into our picks. At number 1, we are going with Travis Kelce over 74.5 receiving yards here for the Kansas City Chiefs at minus 115 odds. This one I got off at DraftKings. Kelce is actually 5-0 to this line in his last 5 games versus the Las Vegas Raiders, who they're taking on. And his low during that stretch was 90. So he had a lot of clearance room in each of those games, which we love to see that, including 119 yards already this year versus the Raiders out there in Vegas. So love to see that, honestly. Great matchup here for Kelce. The Las Vegas Raiders allow the most receiving yards to tight ends on the season as well, so they do not play the middle of the field very well. And we got ideal throwing conditions here for the Chiefs, and really for both teams. I expect to see some points here in this game. 56 degrees and sunny there in KC on Sunday, so we should see the pass offenses here open it up here on each side. I don't think the over is a bad look in this game as well. 47.5 is what we're looking at there for the over. Honestly, I think Kelce's game, a big game, historically has played very well in his career versus the Raiders. And, kind of had an up and down season. On the season, technically 5-7 to the line with the hook. So one of his games, he finished with 74 receiving yards. So otherwise he'd be 6-6. But, I think this is a great spot for him to cash these receiving yards. Historically has been very good here. So love it there for our number 1 pick. Travis Kelce over 74.5 receiving yards here for the Kansas City Chiefs at minus 115 odds. Okay, and at number 2, we are going with Alvin Kamara over 33.5 receiving yards here for the New Orleans Saints at minus 110 odds. So before Kamara got hurt, he had cashed this in 3 of 4 in his last 4 games that he played. That included 30 targets during that time frame. So that was 7.5 targets per game during that time frame, which I think is pretty solid. When you're looking at cashing a receiving prop like this. And he's drawn a great matchup here. The Jets allow the second most receiving yards to running backs, the third most rushing yards. So initially, I was actually looking at his rushing yards. Don't think really any of his plays would be bad looks. If you look at his rushing yards, you want to get it about the 70-yard range. His rushing and receiving yards is about 109.5. So I think both of those are very valid options as well. Kamara here got full practices in on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So that was a great sign to me. I think if he had been limited in any of those days, I'd be like, is he at full strength? But I'm convinced when I see 3 straight full practices. I love seeing that. So that's why I think you're getting some value here on his lines, because his lines are a little bit down because he's just coming back from injury. But in this particular case, the matchup is really good here versus the Jets. The Jets really struggle versus running backs. I've watched a lot of their games and seen this play out. They just don't defend running backs well at all. So, still here, for Kamara, no Michael Thomas, no Jameis Winston. So, Kamara should be relied on heavily. He's really their only... He's their offense. They need him so bad. They've needed him. It's shown in their offense here recently. So it'll be a breath of fresh air here to get him back. So love it there for number 2 pick. Alvin Kamara over 33.5 receiving yards here for the Saints at -110 odds. Okay, and at number 3, we are going with Matt Ryan under 230.5 passing yards here for the Atlanta Falcons at -110 odds. So typically I do not like betting unders when it comes to Matt Ryan. He is one of the game's great quarterbacks. But in this particular case, I just couldn't resist. The Carolina Panthers are 10-2 on the year holding quarterbacks to this under, including Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan just 146 yards versus the Panthers this year in his lone matchup here a few weeks back. He's actually 4-2 to this under in his last 6. So 4 out of 6 there to the under. And still without Calvin Ridley. So that's the common denominator here. That correlates exactly when Calvin Ridley went out. He last played there versus the Dolphins 6 games ago. So that's a very big deal. You need Calvin Ridley here to stretch the field, and they just don't have that. Their passing game has just not been working for them. Ryan has actually gone under 200 yards in 4 of his last 6. So those 4 losses, he hasn't even gotten to 200 yards passing. So like I said, we have a lot of clearance for him here. Really feel like his line should be in the 180s if it was sharp in my eyes. Because like I said, he still hasn't crossed 200. So, and the matchup here was not good for Ryan either. Panthers are second. Like I said, we already touched on how good they've been versus quarterbacks. They're second in all the NFL in pass defense. They have one of the best pass defenses in all of football. And don't expect that to change here. Matt Ryan is not inside the dome either. So he's not in his comfort zone. He's going to be in Carolina at Carolina Stadium there. So, I look for this to be a physical football game, a lot of running. I wouldn't mind an under look in this game as well, but love that there for our number 3 pick. Matt Ryan under 230.5 passing yards here for the Atlanta Falcons at -110 odds. Okay, and at number 4, we're going with the Buffalo Bills team total over 24.5 points here at -110 odds. So believe it or not, the Buffalo Bills are 5-1 to this line on the season on the road. Get them outside of Buffalo right now after that game against New England. That was an ugly football game when they put up just 11 points. So it's honestly a breath of fresh air for me to see them go on the road here. Against the defense that is, Tampa certainly has the struggles with pass defense. They had a lot of injuries in that secondary. And they're finally playing against a good quarterback that could get it done here in Josh Allen. The Bucs are actually 2-3 to this line as far as allowing teams to cash this, over at home. So I looked a little deeper into that. I'm like, okay, all 3 of those losses, where teams were under 24.5 points, they were all against bottom 10 scoring offenses. So that was the Dolphins, that was the Bears, that was the Giants. So of course they're not going to score a lot of points. Those are all crappy teams. No offense. Sorry, I said it. They're just not good offenses, guys. And, you're going up against the Bills team. They're going to score. This is a good matchup here for Allen. Maybe the Bucs defend the run well. The Bills don't like to run it anyway. So what's the difference? Bills love to throw it all over the lot. And you're going to see that here from Josh Allen. I think he gets back on track. Ideal passing situation here as far as the elements go. Weather will be in the 70s, partly cloudy. So very good passing conditions here for Josh Allen. And like I said, the Bills are not one of these bottom offenses. They are 5th in scoring offense, 9th in total yards. So they could get it done offensively. And I think this will be a shootout, honestly. I wouldn't take the Bills. I want to say the Bills have a great shot to win. I am a Bills fan. I can't hide it. But I wouldn't trust the Bills to win this game. I do trust them to go over here, though. And I really do love this as far as this. I just think it's going to be high scoring. So there for our number 4 pick. Buffalo Bills team total over 24.5 points at -110 odds. Okay, and finally at number 5, we're going with the Washington football team plus 4.5 spread here versus the Dallas Cowboys at -114 odds. So believe it or not, the Washington football team riding a 4-game winning streak behind Taylor Heineke. They're actually playing very well right now, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. They've given up just 70 points in the last 4 games. If you do the math on that, that's about 17.5 points per game in the last 4. It's very good defensively. To a defense that most of the year was struggling, they've really picked it up here late. And you got a Cowboys team here coming in on the road that's actually 2-3 in the last 5 games overall. And the thing that I really noticed about Dallas, just watching them a few of the last games, is Zeke Elliott here does not look right? He still looks like he's bothered by injuries and whatnot. And the Dallas run game, honestly, has not been right. They have not been controlling games, getting ahead of the sticks with their ground game. They're 24th in rushing here in the last 3 games. So they've honestly been struggling in that side of the field. And I watched even their game against the Saints, and I just sat there thinking, wow, the Saints really blew their opportunities. I thought the Saints easily could have won that game. Just too many turnovers. You can't turn the ball over as much as they did and expect to win. But honestly, in this spot, Washington's been really hot lately. They're playing great defense. I think they'll be able to slow Dallas down. Outdoors. Dallas, the Cowboys are actually 1-3 to covering a -4.5 spread outdoors. The only time they covered the spread outdoors was versus New England in overtime, where they got a walk-off touchdown. I was actually on the Dallas spread that day, but since then I've seen Dallas struggle a lot of weeks. They lost to Denver, they lost to Las Vegas, who honestly was coming in struggling themselves. So I really like Washington to, at the very least, keep this game close. I don't see Dallas, winning by more than 4. I really don't. I don't envision a scenario where that happens, especially against a Washington team that's playing very well right now. The defense is playing a lot better. And then we go back to last year. Obviously, there were injuries there for the Cowboys, but Washington won both of those games versus Dallas last year convincingly. Is this the same situation? No, but Washington does play well versus Dallas. They are capable of that. So I'm expecting them here to get it done and at least cover the spread. So I love it there for number 5 pick. Washington football team plus 4.5 spread here versus the Dallas Cowboys at -114 odds. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for our picks. If you enjoyed the content, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Always appreciate that. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers here by the end of the week. We're almost there. I can't do it without you. Appreciate all of your support. Other than that, guys, I wish you all the best of luck. Let's cash all these bets. Let's cash all your bets as well. Let me know what you guys are thinking, what you guys love. I know we didn't cover everything today. We covered a lot of games. We didn't cover all the games, so let me know what you're playing. If you got any other picks in other games, we'd love to hear what you guys are playing. Check out our Discord as well. It's a great place to connect with us there. Other than that, that's going to do it for me. I hope you all have a great rest of your week, great rest of your day, and we will catch you next time. Peace out.